Okay, so I've recorded this video 3 times. This is my third time, and each time I get cut off because it only lasts 15 minutes. So I'm obviously not talking fast enough or I'm talking too much, which is probably the reason. So I'm gonna have to cut this into 2 different parts. So this is the second part. I was talking about the legal case, Summer versus Southfield Board of Education, where the teacher was being let go. She felt like it was already predetermined that she was going to be let go before her teacher evaluation based off of um, some of the comments around the school. So that's where we were. I'm going to keep going. Let's see. So the foundation of the case was that the teacher was observed throughout the year. She was never provided feedback or results of her evaluation, and she received a minimally effective score. So at the end of the year, the teacher was laid off without a plan of improvement. Okay. The reason I chose this case and the reason it's so interesting to me was that she was laid off at the end of the year, but she was hired to teach summer school. So that's crazy to me. If you're not effective enough in the classroom during the year, what makes them think that she's going to be effective during the summer, especially knowing she's not returning? So that is why I chose this case. It was just very interesting to me. But the result of the case was the court ruled that the layoff fell under Section 1249, which was the direct result of her performance evaluation and not actually based on her effectiveness. So her performance evaluation, that her actual the tool that was being used, she was scored so low. So that is why she was let go based off of the performance evaluation. So in this case, the court ruled in favor of the school district. Kind of to wrap some things up, my reflection on this module as a whole, kind of what I learned, what I'm going to do moving forward. So how am I going to ensure that I am following legal issues associated with the evaluation process if and when I become a school administrator? I broke this down into 4 kind of big categories. So the first one is what I'm going to do is I'm going to become very knowledgeable about my evaluation tool. I said before, my principal, he is amazing with the evaluation tool, and I went to his office probably 6 times this year to ask how to complete something, when, where, all these different questions, and he was so knowledgeable about it, made me feel comfortable, made the process go very smoothly. So being knowledgeable about the evaluation tool is just as important as the actual evaluation, because if you are unaware of the tool that you're being used and how it can be used as a tool instead of just going through the motions kind of thing, then the teacher isn't going to get better. There's not going to be more student success, and then it's going to fall on the administrator. So becoming knowledgeable about the evaluation tool. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to learn about the tool in depth. I'm going to observe somebody using the evaluation tool. I'm going to practice using the evaluation tool before I go do an official evaluation. And then I'm going to offer some feedback on how I think it went and what I need to improve on in my in the category of me actually evaluating somebody. So that is the first thing. Second thing is communication. I think this is really important. Communication with staff on evaluations, what I expect from them, when they happen, what they expect from me. I think that will help to build a relationship with my staff members. It will help me become aware of their knowledge of the evaluation system or the tool being used. And then it will help me grasp an understanding of where we are as a school, where we are as a district, and where we need to go, which is hopefully up. Collaboration. Collaboration is a very big one for me. I think that with anything in education, there should always be data collected, because if what we're doing is not necessary or isn't helping to improve students, then why are we doing it? So I think by collecting data on the evaluation system that we're using, are teachers improving? Are they scoring the same score every year? Are they using it as a tool, or is it just another thing that they have to get done during the year? Collecting that kind of data will help to collaborate and make our system something that we're using as a tool to get better. Again, use the system as a tool, and then provide resources for improvement. Another thing with collaboration is I think it would be very helpful to go to another school district that's using the exact same system, teacher evaluation system, and see how they do it. See if they have anything that we can implement in our school to make better, something that will help our teachers get more out of it, our administrator get more out of it. I truly believe in collaboration. I think the best collaboration tool are other educators. So maybe visiting with another district that uses that or uses another one. Maybe we need to change it. Who knows? So that's another thing that I would do. And then the very last one is kind of a system for after the evaluation's done. Because I feel like sometimes it's, okay, I'm done with the evaluations, as an administrator. I'm done. Whew, got that done for the year. Okay, what's my next task? Teachers are the same way. Okay, my evaluation's done. Now I can relax and I can move on. But what happens after evaluations? So if a teacher, met their goals or whatever, do they just stop? Do they make new goals? Do they continue to improve on those goals? What does that look like? So after the evaluation process, what does it look like? And then also plans of improvement. What do those look like? And then we talked about earlier, if somebody didn't agree with their teacher evaluation, what can they do? So I would like to have a plan in place. Hey, if you don't agree with this, this is the next step you need to take. So those are kind of what I got from this module and what I plan to do as an administrator. And I'm sure there's probably a million more things I could add to it, but just based off of the few days that I've had to actually reflect on the module, that's what I came up with. And then I want to end with a quote. The quote is, "To read without reflecting is like eating without digesting." So any quote that has to do with food, I'm a fan of. But this one specifically, I feel like you could replace the word read with pretty much anything and it makes sense. So especially the evaluation process. So if we're evaluating teachers, or if I'm a teacher who's getting evaluated, if we're not reflecting on it, if we're not providing feedback, if we're not improving, if we're not making goals and striving to do better, then what's the point of it? Then why are we doing it? So so I think it's just really important to use the evaluation as a tool to improve as a teacher and an administrator. I know with each of the observations that I've had done, I've grown with each one. Each person who has come in to observe me, whether that's my principal, my assistant principal, the instructional coach, whoever it was that came to observe me, always provided me with feedback that I went home, and at the time I'm probably like, oh, if they would have came in Tuesday, they would have seen that, or whatever it might have been. But I go home and I think, okay, they're right though. How can I make myself a better teacher? Even though you're already doing things the way you're supposed to be doing, even though you're rated highly effective, there's always room for improvement. And I think anybody who's in education just wants the best for students. So the ultimate goal, what can we do that's going to improve our students? And so that's just really important when you're getting feedback on your teaching. Remember, we all have the same goal. So, and then I just have my references at the very end, but that's kind of it. That's it for this presentation on Module 8. Thank you.